Amateur investors in the UK have been piling into the stock market, cryptocurrencies, and everything else in between. Nearly 1.8 million Britons have become online share traders since the start of the pandemic. And at least a fifth of this growth is fueled by younger investors.
So my first amount of money I've invested was £1,000, and I was like, oh gosh, this is scary.
I'd say I've put about £1,000 in there at the moment.
So I only really hold cryptocurrency assets at the moment it's because I'm so young. I don't have responsibilities and my risk appetite is pretty high.
In the past, personal investing required large amounts of money and your own stockbroker to place trades for you. You'd find stockbrokers in the city, London's exclusive financial district, or in the glittering towers of Canary Wharf just down the river. Nowadays, anyone with a smartphone can trade for free.
The retail investing really has surged during the pandemic, and we've seen record levels of new business, particularly among younger investors. And now the average age of clients is 36, that's down from 37 from last year, and 45 in 2012. So you can really see that many more younger investors and younger people are dipping their toe into the stock market for the first time, and certainly that's been a trend that we've seen over the pandemic.
These young, tech-savvy investors are raised on YouTube tutorials, Reddit forums, and get hooked on investing by financial influencers or finfluencers on TikTok and Instagram. I went to meet one of these finfluencers. By day, Orla works in events. By night, she runs her own Instagram page called All Things Money, giving tips to would-be investors.
So started All Things Money as a platform to share budgeting, saving and investing tips. And since then I've just covered a wide range, just because we're not taught much about at school or university about these different topics. So done that, and it's kind of blown up.
Orla's page now has over 7,000 followers and counting. She only started investing in March 2020, when the stock market tumbled as countries around the world went into lockdown.
So I started investing in the stock market, like I mentioned, and that same week I got 5 of my friends on board investing as well, because I was like, guys, this is so easy, especially if you do it wisely. There's a great way of accumulating money. So that week I got friends on board, and I was like, well, if I can get my friends investing, why not teach other young adults how to get investing as well? I feel like it's a huge missed opportunity just because we haven't been taught about it in school. My goal at the start was just to help people, but fast forward like a year later, we've got like 6 ebooks, hosted over like 20 different workshops, and now got a podcast.
Adam Landau is a student from northwest London who started investing in cryptocurrencies earlier this year.
I invested like £50 in like Bitcoin at like the start of third year. So this is probably about, I want to say about a year ago, maybe just under a year ago. As over the rest of the year, I sort of accumulated a lot more, put more of my student loan into cryptocurrencies. Obviously, a great idea before that crash, but you know what? It is what it is. I'd say I've put about £1,000 in there at the moment. Yeah, but the thing is, I literally didn't go out at all, barely in third year. So I literally didn't spend any of my money. So I was like, look, I've got to plonk it in somewhere. Might as well go into cryptos. Where else is it going to go, you know?
What do institutional investors think of all this new money flooding the market? Susanna Streeter, senior analyst at one of the UK's largest investment platforms, Hargreaves Lansdown.
Certainly the growth in digitisation of financial services has already been going on, but it accelerated during the pandemic. It was just so much easier for people to make a trade anywhere, and at home they had much more time on their hands because of furlough. Also, many had built up huge piles of savings as well, which they were using. But at the same time as well, there is so much more information and influencers on social media who are talking about investing. So for a whole range of reasons, I think that's why we've seen more younger investors coming in particular.
Should investors be concerned about using social media to educate themselves about investing?
Yes, investors should think very carefully if they are getting advice on social media, because they don't know who's regulated, who isn't, who's qualified and who isn't.
James Halliwell is an investment manager who educates people on YouTube about trading and investing.
There aren't enough qualified people relative to the number of, for example, people with TikTok accounts talking about the stock market and cryptocurrencies and everything else.
Has this youthful investing boom left behind the UK's watchdog of the financial world, the Financial Conduct Authority?
Let's be honest, the FCA, as good as they are at trying to spread their reach across everything and reach very deep into what we're doing all the time as professionals, they haven't got all the resources to have thousands of people, which they would need, sat scrolling through TikTok all day long.
I approached the Financial Conduct Authority for comment. Although they declined, they have said publicly that they could take action if social media sites promote risky or fraudulent investments.
If you take TikTok, for example, I haven't used it because I'm, again, a bit old, but my younger partner and her sister and friends and things like that are all over it. And they've come to me with questions based on things that they've seen around investing that they wouldn't otherwise have seen if TikTok didn't exist. The main point is it's really healthy. It is a really, really great positive thing that more people are aware of investing in anything.
And that's an opinion many younger investors share too.
I mean, it's interesting. I'm much rather learn about this like now than like later in life, you know, because like investing is like it's something you should like people should do early on, you know, because people seriously underestimate how much they need like funds within their later life.
There are risks and pitfalls out there, particularly when taking investment advice off social media. But for many young people, lockdown has been the first step on the road to financial literacy. And for some newbie investors, it's the first time they've seen how their money can really work for them.